right. Well, what do you say, Steve? You think we're ready?
Think we're ready. I'll try to keep an eye on the
Okay.
waiting room and we'll do our best on that.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
Cool. All right. Well, let's jump right in, guys. Just a quick note to say welcome and definitely thank you for jumping on today. Today, the goal is to give you an overview of what OrderPix is all about. I think we've got a little bit of a mixed group here. We've got some people online that have been using OrderPix for a while now, and we've got some people that maybe it's just the first time that they're seeing OrderPix. So if you're one of those users that's had a taste of OrderPix, hang on. That second part of this video, we're going to show you that new layout tool. So that'll be very cool to show. If it's your first time seeing OrderPix, I can't wait for you to see it and just see what it's all about. If I haven't met you, I'm Jess. This guy is Steve Weck, and we are on the sales team, and we definitely spend a lot of time working with studios and getting their OrderPix account set up. So with that being said, I think we are ready to jump right in here and just kind of see what it's all about. We'll be kind of driving the screen here, and Steve's going to do some talking, and we'll kind of just go back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
here we go.
all right. Question is, what is OrderPix all about? For those of you who don't know, and maybe for those of you who already do know, but it's ACI's volume e-commerce software solution for schools primarily. Sports and dance are the big three, and also for portraits. So we have clients that are using this for seniors, for family portraits. And the good thing about this is it's 100% ACI. It's owned, developed, and supported by ACI 100%. So there's no third party involvement with this. So it's us. Jess and I, as she may have mentioned, help studios, customize their workflows around their goals and what they want to accomplish with different projects. And we work within, of course, the flexible capabilities of OrderPix, which has a lot. There's a lot in there. Um, it's a closed loop system, as many of you know. So from image matching, from capture basically to print delivery, it's 100% ACI. I guess the good news about that is if there's ever any issues and the world is full of issues and things happen, it's us and you're dealing with us directly and we're working to solve your problems. So, OrderPix is free. There's no fees at all, and it's totally commission free, which is something unique in the industry. And so it's 100% us. We make our money on the products and prints that we produce for you. So there you go. That's what it's in general all about.
All right, good deal, good deal. So let's see. So first thing I think we want to do is jump into that prepay, Steve. So let me get you to your spot and I'll let you take it over.
Okay. So OrderPix is basically made up of three types of projects. There's prepay, there is batch, which we might refer to also as proof, and there's individual order mode. Now, prepay can be in a couple different fashions, can come at you like that. Sometimes you get the data from your organization in advance, and sometimes you don't. Of course, the best situation is you get the data and you feel little more organized and more in control. So what Jess has pulled up here is a little demonstration of a project where we got the data in advance, we loaded the project, gave everybody a unique password, and then from here, what's going to happen is Studio is going to share the link out to the shoppers. And I'm going to often refer to the shopper as the moms because they kind of run the world. But we're going to share the link out, and what she is going to do is she's going to search for her subject. We have the data already loaded. So she's searching for Jim Churchill, and there he is. And then mom's going to put in her email, hit submit, and then she is going to be shopping. This happens to be a green screen project. We have a PNG file that I uploaded as our model image that mom would see. Remember, this is a prepay, so she's not going to see her own images, but she'll see these packages and she can choose her background in this situation and see the background load live in real time. So a couple different packages here. And I think one of the things that's really cool about OrderPix is the way it presents to the shopper in that they can see it's going to be an 8 by 10, 2 5 by 7, the wallets, the mini wallets, and so on and so forth. I think that's a pretty nice presentation. We get a lot of good feedback on that. And Jess just prompted me to, and she went right to the mug, which is a great thing because the mug, it's kind of curved around the mug and it makes for a really nice presentation on the mug. Right above that is the keychain, and it shows the keychain with the image dropped in. So it's a very nice presentation, I think, in OrderPix with the prepays. So we have three tabs at the top. You're working out of packages that you totally create as a studio. You can custom design your packages from our products, from our catalog. The top two packages are standard packages. And then the bottom one is a build your own. So you can offer up a menu. In this case, I think we have about what, 6 different items in there, but every shopper might want something different. So they can build their own based on what their needs are. They feel their needs are based on the limitations of what we offer in the package. So we offer 6 different items, but they can choose up to 3 items in this particular package. So it's pretty flexible. So, but the key here, of course, is having the prepay, having the data. Mom's searching for her subject, and it's pretty straight ahead. The nice thing also about having the data in advance is your data is there. When you go out to photograph your job, you can produce QR codes or barcodes. If that's your image matching method, it's already there, and you're on your way with that because the data is there. The other situation, I guess Jess will take a look at, is when you have prepay with no data.
All right, sounds good. Let's jump right into this one and let me just clean this up
Obviously,
real
no.
quick.
Yep. Obviously, there's no data. So Jess, I'll just have you go into options. And so once again, the studio is going to share a link. Each project has about 5 or 6 links for different uses, each for different uses. So they're going to share the link with the organization that might share it out with the parents. So just click on one of those, Jess. And we're going
Sure.
to, yep. And in a situation where there's no data, the prepay is going to be the password by default. And by the way, I did not mention this, probably get into the weeds a little bit on this, but on the previous project where there is data, you would change the password to hide, and that's how mom comes to be searching for her subject. So in this case, again, just hit submit, and this is a default image that pops up. You can actually upload your own image, and that's what actually is loading right there is the image that we wanted to show. So again, there's the packages and same packages as we had before, except in this case, they're not green screen, not PNGs. So there's no background to be chosen. So again, the same type of products are in this one. So what's going to happen with this is going to build, or there's an option to build the database for the QR codes, for the barcodes, and that's in the options. That's a special feature that we just added fairly recently. Jess is looking for that.
Tell me that one again, Steve, where you want to
Yep,
go.
go to general
Okay.
and that new, see the new slide up there, it's in red.
Yep.
So you can set this that when mom goes ahead and places an order for her subject, it's also going to put the first name and last name in the subject list, and you start building that data. And from that, you can get the QR codes and barcodes from that.
And then what happens is they show up in your subjects tab, so they'll start to build in this area here.
Right,
Yep.
right. So that's the difference between prepay with data, prepay without data. And there's also, several different varying factors off of that even that we won't go into today that are pretty specialized for each type of project that you might run into out there. So,
Cool. Good deal. All right. So the next type of order that we want to talk about is going to be the batch order or the proof order. So some pretty cool things with this. So this is you've collected your data, you've went to the school, you've taken your photos, you've come back, and now you've loaded them into a project. So we're in the back office area again, and your project might look something like this. So you've got your subjects names, you've got some passwords. Quick note on the passwords. OrderPix can either generate a generic password for you, or you can say, hey, OrderPix, I want you to use this password. So a common thing with schools is you want to use the student ID so that the parents can easily find their own password if they lose it. Let's see. So in this top situation, we want to show you something with multiple images, and you'll see we've got three loaded. It's not the same child, but the idea is this would be three poses of the same child here. So for Madison, we're going to log in. One other cool thing I like to always talk about is this background is customizable to you. So in the beginning, Steve showed you those 10 different URLs that we have. You can customize each URL to whatever you want. So kind of some fun things that you can do there. So with this link, the password has already been entered for us. And then at this point, we're just collecting the emails. One thing I also like to point out here is once the shopper shares this link with grandma, and grandma comes to this page and she enters in her email, then you have now collected an outside email that is going to go into your campaign, we'll say. And we'll get into that email campaign in a little bit, but just want to plant that seed on what this is truly doing for you. Okay, so we're going to hit submit. Again, we're in a green screen job here. We're going to see the background change live, change my pose here, and switch there as well. Bottom corner, this is cool. Let's say mom has a child in fifth grade, and she knows that password because we told her it was the student ID. So what she can do is she can paste that in here, and then now she's ordering off of one order for both of her children. So pretty cool feature there. All right, copyrights, you can either add text in to the photo or you can load a PNG. That is up to you. Let's click into buy photos and let's kind of look at this one more time. One other thing I want to add from what we can do with those prepay orders is this multi-pose one. So watch this. So let's go into next. And right here, we've got poses and backgrounds. So this page pulls up and let's say I like the blue jean with the blue background, but I want the white pose with, let's say, this guy right here. Let's do, more fun background with this one here. So pretty easy for that shopper to drag and drop and create that package. The site will also actually limit to what you want them to do. So if you say, hey, if you go over 3 poses, I'm going to charge you, you can do that if you want. Okay, other than that, I think that's about it for the shopper side of a batch order. Some things that I want to show you on the back office side would be, so let's talk about a batch order for a second. So basically what you're doing here is you are setting, you want this to go into the lab as a bulk order because that's where you get your bulk price ordering. So you are going to set some dates. So let's say you want to give your shopper 10 days to order that first batch. You set that date, and then at that time, every order that's come into the project is going to go into production and it's going to get produced. It's going to get shipped, it's going to get packaged individually, and it's going to get sorted as you tell us to sort it. As long as you give us this data, we will sort it the way that you ask us to. We just need the data to do that. And then the default for a batch order is to ship it back directly to you, which that is included in your cost. That is not an additional fee to do that. And then it is up to you to deliver that to the schools. Let's stick on shipping for a second. Let's say you want that order to bulk ship back to your school. We can do that for you too. That would just be considered a drop ship for us. You give us the address and then it would be that drop ship fee for you. One other option quickly is, during the COVID era, we wanted batch orders to directly ship out to all of your customers. And you can turn on shipping for a batch order as well, and it would ship back to your customer as well. Okay, back to the batch dates. So let's say now it's time to go and do your retakes. So your retakes are done, you load them into the project, and now you want your shoppers to have the opportunity to order one more time. And that's what that second date is doing for you. Third date is there if you choose to. Lots of other little items that are pretty cool in here. I won't go too far into the weeds. The only one I want to hit is this no buy envelope. A pretty cool feature. Let's say somebody doesn't order, but you still want the chance to get them an envelope to say, hey, here's your little thumbnail of your child. Here's how to reorder it. So it's pretty cool there. Okay, let's see. So one other thing I want to show you while we're in the back office is let's say this school gets shipped out and Sally's order gets lost, doesn't make it in there for whatever reason. Yep, our customer service team would love to talk to you and they're happy to help you. But the fastest way and easiest way is we've given you a tool to come into here, select the child that's missing, select the image, let us know which product it was, and then, get this going to the lab as soon as possible. There's information down below what you like us to do. Is it remake that we need to take care of? Is it a reorder for some reason on your side? How do you want us to ship it back to you? So pretty cool feature to give you the power and the tools to help get anything that's not quite right sorted out. Okay, let's
Hey,
see.
Jess,
Yeah,
I might mention something here. You know where you added the second child in and it loaded their gallery at the bottom?
yeah,
So mom's making one order instead of four orders in this case. That was a really cool feature when it was shipped to home because it saved her shipping on three
yeah,
other orders. So that's
definitely.
something to be aware of. And just so that everybody knows this, you can turn that enter additional password function on or off. It's optional for the studio now. So if you don't want, for some reason, for the shopper to be able to go in and combine orders, then you can turn that off. And where you might not do that, where you might not want them to be able to combine, is if the orders are coming back to the studio, you're going to deliver them to the school. You want everybody's order to be in their grouped classroom, that kind of thing. So somebody doesn't feel like they're missing their orders because it got combined with the child that was logged into, here. So you can turn it on or off. And the other thing too, I might add is up top there where you got poses and backgrounds. Underneath that is cropping. That's another function that you can turn on and off as a studio. We typically advise that you upload images that are 8 by 10. Crops better that way. Everything else crops in from the sides, makes it for a cleaner crop, and your head space stays the same. But as a studio owner, you can turn cropping on or off and allow the shopper to crop or not and have that functionality. So a couple little fun functions there that you can play with. Thanks,
Cool.
Jess.
Good deal. Yep,
Hey,
yep,
Jess
good
and
deal.
Steve.
Yeah.
So John here, and we're getting a question in. How would
Oh,
you like
cool.
to receive your questions? Would you want me to just put them to you in chat so you can keep your eyes open over there, or
That's
set
fine.
them up live here?
I see we have a question from Terry.
Correct. There you go.
Wondered if we could go over how to put multi-pose backgrounds in a package and how to set that up. Go over
Yep, and
yeah,
yep. So Terry, I think we're going to hit that a little bit next year. So keep me honest and make sure I show you that to you when we get into the packages. But yep, I think that's next there. So good question. Okay. I think before we go there, if it's okay, we're going to just hit on a reorder package. And I think really the only thing that I want to hit on in the reorder is it takes away the batch date. And basically, it goes straight to reorder mode, and the shopper buys it. It goes into production. Production produces that for you, and then it automatically ships out. The default is to have a shipping fee on there. And so what happens is you'll see that on your invoice, which is between me and you and the lab, and then you will have your shopper be paying you directly for that as well. One thing I don't think we've hit on yet is all your money goes straight to you. And I just want to make this clear. So you will set up a Stripe account. So when your shopper pays, that money goes straight to you. There's no commissions taken out of it by us. That is your money. There is a Stripe 2.9% there that they do, but that's between you and them. That doesn't come from us. So what you see from us is your normal invoice bill that you're probably already used to. Okay. No more detours here, and let's jump into one more thing on that reorder mode. This one's a good one, so definitely watch this here. So I'm kind of jumping into the price list, which we're leading into next. And the biggest thing I want to point out is you have access to this button at any time. This is the ACI prices so that you can see what your cost will be so that you can determine what your markup should be. The next important thing that I want to show you is two columns here. So you have a batch column and you have a reorder column. So batch column is when we are producing volume work for you, and that's when you get that lowest unit price. So your low unit price is that $1.25 when you are in batch mode. So anything that's a unit, you're seeing it's at that $1.25, which is kind of that that normal marker that people like to talk about. So the next thing that you see is 292. So that is in a reorder mode. So what happens is at that point, it's going straight to production. Production ships it off, and it's like a one-off. So then that's where you do have that higher unit price. Still no commissions off of that. But what I want to show you next is that you have the ability to set prices for each price list. Okay. So if you have a price activated in a column, that activates the product in your price list. So right now in this price list, I have $15 for 8 wallets only in my batch. My reorder would not. So if I wanted to offer that in my reorder mode, I'd want to add a price, and I'd probably bump that price up because I want to cover my cost, and then obviously encouraging that behavior for them to order during that batch time. So there's, hopefully less stragglers. So, high level stuff is to remember is keep track of your pricing, know if it's a reorder in an individual mode on that price list. And now let's kind of jump into some things into that price list here. So the question, how do we set that multi-pose and backgrounds in the packages? So first thing I want to do is I want to show you how to build a package. So I've already talked about activating a product, but first we also want to show you how to build your own packages. So there's a package builder in here, pretty cool. We got two types of packages, which you already saw. The standard, which is, hey, I'm going to say you get this, this, and this in a package, or the package that says, hey, pick your own, okay? So once you've created your packages, you go back to your price list, and then let's do multi-pose. So we're going to click edit. Sorry, one more thing I want to show you here is you see there's 3 price lists in here already. You can have as many price lists as you need. So if you have one school that needs a higher price or a lower price, you can duplicate it to give you your base and then adjust accordingly. So lots of flexibility within this price list here. Okay, let's go into edit. So within this edit mode, within our packages, you will see, and I think we decided it's this guy right here that we have it set. So right here, there is options for you that you can say, hey, I want to allow multiple poses. How many do I want to allow? Price we're going over, multiple backgrounds, and so forth. So right here in this area will be all the controls to set the controls there, Terry. So hopefully that answers that question there.
Hey, Jess.
Yep.
Quick comment about that. You will not be able to set the multi-pose, I believe, until you put a price for a package in, and then it becomes active. I believe that's correct.
Cool.
Maybe wrong on that, but I think that's correct.
Cool. Okay, so we've talked about creating a price list. We've talked about batch order versus individual pricing. We've talked about the multi-pose. Let's see. One other thing in here is let's talk about a no print product. So no print product would be, looks like we're going to offer a skateboard. So if you want to offer a skateboard, you can create a product on your own. Basically, it's a product that ACI wouldn't be able to produce within your order. So you can create it, and then that becomes active in your price list and available for you to offer. So what happens is basically somebody orders it, you get an email that notifies you that you need to produce it. One other thing too on this on this price list here is sometimes you'll see that the price isn't active in the first column. All that's telling you is that's a product that we don't offer in that prepay section, just because prepay is, designed to be flat work, fast work, to get it in and get it through the lab and get it out for you. So, if you wanted to offer a blanket is kind of a common one, which is something that we do produce, but it's not produced in a batch order. What you could do is you could create a no print product and then offer it for your prepay, and then just know that you have to produce that on the side. Okay, cool. Getting the weeds too much on that. So let's go back to price list. Other things that you got in this tab is your retouching options. So if you want to have ACI doing any of the retouching, that would be activated here. So here is your cost, and then you would just activate your price that you want to charge your customer. Quickly, I'll hit on this price list options. This is kind of cool. Allows you to say, hey, I want you to have to order a package before you can order a la carte. You can change those settings. If you want to include artist repackaging, we can do that here too. Okay, let's see. That's a lot in that price list, that pricing area there. Lots of things that you can do there. Pretty creative. I think the next thing that we want to jump into is that backgrounds. We've talked about green screens a few times here. And you saw in our example that we had probably about 5 different backgrounds, actually 6 of them chosen for that school. Same thing as price list. If you want to have 5 different background sets, you can do that just by creating different background sets. You can select from ours, and you select them just by clicking on them. If you want to add an extra charge for a background, you have the capability to do that as well. If you need to upload your own background, which this will start to come into play once we get into that new tool, pretty cool, you can go into My Background Sets and also add a background of something that you have used that we don't have. One thing I will say, our programmers, and I wanted to give them a shout out at the very beginning. They kick butt at keeping this thing running and adding new features. They do a great job of giving you the basics to look for. I know we're all in the era of not reading every fine detail, but I promise you, there's a lot of information in all of this text here. If you don't get it, give us a call. That's why we're here, though. Okay. So let's kind of piece this all together. So let's go back to a project here. And so right here, when we're creating the project, we are telling it which price list we wanted to use and which background set we wanted to use. We're telling it, the dates that we've already went over. We're telling it how we want it sorted. So lots of information within just this back office area. So I think we've hit kind of on price list. We've hit on the 3 types of main orders and a little bit on the shipping. So I think the next thing we are ready to do, Steve, if you want to take it back over and kind of talk about the different workflows, I believe.
Yeah, just keep driving, Jess, and I'll direct us there. So let's go into the batch project.
Okay.
So as most of you know, when you get the file that you're going to upload into OrderPix is a CSV file. Typically, in this case, it's first name, last name, maybe student ID, might be teacher, grade, those kind of things. And so when you get your data loaded, then you're ready to go out and write in OrderPix, produce barcoded labels, or QR codes. Some people are QR code fans. Some people are Opticon scanner fans and like to scan the barcodes. So you can do it either way because we can produce either of those, both of those in OrderPix. And sometimes there's a tool for that project and there's a better tool for that project. So you can print the QR codes directly out of OrderPix. You can print the barcodes directly from OrderPix. One thing I might mention, and Jess showed the QR codes there a while ago, you can print those out. And if you're planning to go out to a sports job, let's say, and it's going to be a windy day, you may not be comfortable with 200 sheets of paper out there for guys to hold up the QR code. So ACI has an app that you can load on your tablet or on your phone. And so, in lieu of having kids hold up papers to photograph those, you can actually photograph the QR codes on your phone or tablet. So this is pretty cool. We've had some people take advantage of that and they like it. I think it's what you get used to and what you're comfortable with doing. But there's a lot of tools right in this functionality right here in this where you can search for the next kid. You can go right through them. You can sort by team or by grade, by however the kids are coming at you that day. So this is a pretty cool little feature. Um, Another little side note on this, if you're doing dance, there's a special way that you can go in here. Just I think there is a dance one there, yeah, where you set up the project to where in the QR code system, you're connecting the individual's QR code with the group that you're now photographing. So if a kid is in, like say, three different outfits, a dancer's in three different outfits, you just pull up her simple QR code, and then you pull in the QR code for the group, and they are automatically linked once you import the images into OrderPix to their records. Very cool feature. So very useful with dance schools. Always say if you can shoot a dance school, you can rule the world. They're the most difficult jobs to shoot. So we made it a little bit easier here with the QR code system that we have through our app. So somebody had a question there. Aaron had a question there earlier about image matching methods. So with the QR codes, you're shooting the QR codes. You've got the QR code app that we have. Printing your barcodes right out of OrderPix, doing a sync scan with your camera using the OPN, the Opticon OPN-2004 scanner. Very easy to use. So that's a way that a lot of our studios connect their images and match their images to the data. And that's going to be probably another whole project that we do, seminar that we do, but that's very popular. A couple of other really popular gaining speed type of systems for image matching is the Foolography by the Intagged Foolography technology, and that would utilize a 2006 scanner, which is Bluetooth. And so basically what that's doing is you're going to scan a barcode and via Bluetooth, it connects the password, unique password for that subject in that barcode to the camera, and it embeds the password into the file itself, the image file, which is very cool because when you get ready to upload that file, then that password is definitely embedded and it goes right to the subject and brings the image in right to the subject. A camera that's out there that does basically the same thing is the Lumix, the S5 II, I believe it is. And again, it uses the Opticon 2006 scanner. It's Bluetooth. Scan the barcode. The password automatically goes and is embedded into the file. Photograph the images, has that embedding done. And when you import those images, they know where they're going. They import right to the correct subject. So couple pieces of technology that's out there that's growing in popularity. And I will say this, it's possibly a little more accurate with importing images than maybe the Opticon, the OPN 2004 method, where you're syncing up camera and scanner, and it's all timestamp with that method. So you can build a CSV if you'd like to. Build a CSV with first name, last name, have a column that's image name. Jess is sharing that screen right here. So first name, last name. You may or may not have passwords in there. Password could be the student ID, kind of up to you, the grade teacher, but image name, you're going to upload this data into OrderPix into probably a batch project, and then you're going to follow that up immediately in the process by uploading the images that have obviously the same file names as listed here for each subject. So that certainly can be done. It's a decent amount of work to create a spreadsheet, but some people prefer doing that. And of course, you can import the images directly to each subject by clicking on the Edit button beside each subject. And there's a manual way to do that. Add individual images. You can also add group images. There's a place here where you can say, yep, I want the lab. In this case, it's a green screen job. I want the lab to extract the background or not. If you're uploading a PNG, it's going to be not. And if you want any color correction here, this is where you ask for it, is during the upload of the files. So that's how that works. And there's a place for this when you got to upload a onesie. But I wouldn't probably plan to build my whole job around this because it's just not very efficient. But it has its place. If there's any flow users in the crowd today, I will say this, that we've had people who have preferred to match their images with their data in Flow, but they want to export the project out of Flow and post the job into OrderPix as a batch job, as a proof job. So you can do an export for image match out of Flow. It provides a CSV file and images, and you just import that easily into OrderPix, upload the images, and do your email marketing, and you're on your way. So it's super easy. And I think there are some other pieces of software that are out there that we have worked with clients where they have an export and you can import that into OrderPix and sell from that. So pretty flexible, a lot of different options. Aaron, I hope that answered your question. There's a lot more, of course, to that. I think everybody has a preference with what their image matching system might be, but we're here to help you out with that. So, all right. Don't see any questions on that. Jess, I think the next area we're going to talk about is email marketing.
So,
So you get your images into OrderPix, like we just talked about. All the images are matched up, and in your data, you got emails, so you're ready to do some email marketing. So the email marketing program is built right into OrderPix. There's two levels to the basic drip to the drip programs. We have the basic email marketing, and then we have the premium. Basic is free. I would say about 95.8% of the jobs that we get that do email marketing go with premium, and there's reasons why. It's $10, which isn't much, but there are reasons why you would want to do that. There are two schedule options for the drip. There's a basic one and a more aggressive. More aggressive means that it's going out more often. The emails are going out more often. So there's your option for that. And you make the choice on that. So one goes out today, one goes out in 2 weeks, one goes out in 3 weeks, and so on and so forth. Another reason why you'd want to do the premium is that you get a customizable message that you can build right into the body of the email. Right above that, Jess, thanks, is right there. In your email marketing, you would upload your studio logo. That's what you see up there with the photo studio. Your logo would be up there. There's a canned message and a couple places to click on the link and for the shopper to get right into the landing page and begin shopping. They will see one of their images right there in the body of the email. But right below the blue link there is a customized message that you can put as part of that email. An example of that might be, hey, make sure you order by this date to save money and avoid shipping costs, because your batch date is set for, let's say, October 15th, and then after that, it's going to roll over to reorder mode. Well, you want to let them know and maybe use a little fear, if you will, that they're going to spend more money. So if they order by that date, their prices are going to be less, and they're going to avoid shipping charges later in the individual order mode. So anyway, that's what the email looks like. Another reason why the premium is good is because the email actually comes from the studio rather than a generic from in the body of the email. Another really good reason why you'd want to do premium is the email blast. So let's say October 15th is your deadline date that you set up. And let's go with this. Let's say October 5th is the deadline date that you set up. Well, maybe you're not going to have any more drips that are going to happen until after that date. And the last one happened obviously before that date. You'd like to let your clients know that, hey, tomorrow is the last day you can order. So with an email blast, you can send them out. I call them onesies. You can send one out 2 days before, one out 3 days before, 2 days before, and the day of, and just remind people, hey, today's the last date to order and save money on your sports picks, or the date is October 4th. Don't forget. So this has an ACI logo in it. That would be the studio logo that you could load and brand your emails. Wouldn't be the ACI logo. So basic text here just to get the message across. You can set these up, you can queue them, and they'll go out when you tell them to go out. So we have some studios that avoid the drip program and just do totally the email blast. Just more comfortable that way, and they can send them out when they want to do that. So pretty flexible, pretty nice little tool. I might also mention that if you're doing prepay and you have emails, that there's an option now to do prepay email blasts. You can do up to 3 of them. So that's a nice little tool. Another little thing that we run into is, studios may not get an email, may not get much help from the school with that and getting the message out. So we now have an option called marketing slips. And Jess is going to it right there. So let's say you don't have emails, but you want to print a slip of paper that you pray gets home with the kid to the parent. You can produce this right into OrderPix with this template. There's some sorting that you can do if you want to sort these by classes, by teacher, by data. On the right there at the top, it says include subjects without images or not. So you probably wouldn't want to put an email out there or this out there to somebody who doesn't have an image. Right below that is the custom text field that you can put your message in there, 120 characters max. And right below that is where you decide whether you want the images to show on the slips or not. I vote for yes. I think that's a good idea. So here we have this one. There's the link where they can go place their order. There's their unique password. And there's also a QR code on there if they want to hit that with their phone or their tablet and just order that way. So print these right out of your studio, take them to the organization, and then you're in business. So that's a pretty cool feature.
Good deal. All right. Well, let's see. So, Steve, I think for time's sake, I think we hit on that shipping enough. You okay if we go to that dynamic tool, or you wanna got anything else there?
Nope. Let's go to the dynamic tool because I think people
Awesome.
can see that. Yep.
Yeah. So here's the good stuff, guys. Okay. So let me just kind of clean up here a little bit. Let's get rid of that one as well. And let's go back to this guy. Put him over here.
This is super exciting.
So yeah, so we've been waiting for this one for a while, and the team did awesome with it. So I want to start with the customer side again here, and we won't spend too much time because you've seen this already here, but let's jump in. So basically what we're trying to do is we are trying to get OrderPix to do the work for you and create custom graphics, right? So down below here, it's another PNG project. You've got individual, you got a buddy, you've got a team, and then another individual pose. And what I want to do is I'm going to keep it on this background. So because the Windhawks is the background that we're going to use to create the graphic. So I want to easily show you the custom graphics versus just a normal product. Okay. So let's click into buy photos. So right here, you are seeing two different backgrounds. So the 8 wallets is a normal product that you guys have already seen. And these two products at the top are going to be brand new products that are being created with the layout tool. So the system is taking this PNG and it's adding the text name and it's adding the background. So if I click on the buddy pose, you'll see it change, and it does take a little bit to render. So give it a minute to be fair here. But as you see, the buddy pose changed into the group image as well. So same thing with products. We're going to show you this button, which is very exciting to show you that. And of course, this one's a download file. So it's creating that layout on the fly. Let's see, another big one. This is a really big one. This is a big deal if you've been using, Flow, or if you've been spending all that time creating your graphics outside of OrderPix. When you bring it in, OrderPix just sees it as a JPEG, right? So what everybody wants to do is they want to sell a memory mate within, 5x7s, 8x10, smaller stuff. And that has been a challenge. And now we've overcome it because you can create the product of your memory mate, and then you can add the other products in with it. That is so cool, and that's a big deal. That's really neat. You can obviously add in the buttons and whatnot too. Trader cards is another really exciting one. So we're doing this with the layout tool as well. We're selecting the image that's going on there. And then the back of the data is also being pulled in. So if you can give this a second to see, you are seeing the data pull in with the information that we put on the CSV sheet, okay? Let me show you something real quick. I know we're starting to get long here, but this personalization with this trader card is really cool. Let's say mom says, hey, you know what? Kenny is his full name. Nobody calls him Kenny. Let's go with Ken. She has the power to change that right there. If he just had a birthday, we can change it. If it's the kid that was on JV and made it to varsity, and our data said JV, they can go in there and change it for themselves. So another great feature that we've been able to overcome and get some things done there. So pretty cool stuff on this side of it. So
Hey, Jess,
um,
real
yep,
quick on the trader cards. That's a new product, by the way, that got just
yep,
added to OrderPix. The
yep,
photo trader card and the press trader card, I believe, are
yep,
there now too. So we've
yeah.
been waiting on that particular product for a while, so it's great.
Yep, that is an exciting one. So I think we've hit enough on this. So I think the fun part now will be going into the back office and creating that layout. So let's go for it. So I do want to stress organization is going to be your friend here. So, if you're shooting, different schools and you got different graphics per school, keep them organized. Keep your individual products organized as well. So what I want to show you, I'm going to start with the simple one. So let's start with an 8x10 single image. So think of this as layers in Photoshop. So I'm going to have my background layer. I don't necessarily have the fog for this one, but I just threw it in here just to show you another layer. So we've got some fog at the feet, and then we're just going to have an example subject image. So this one's going to be very simple. Let's bounce into the memory mate because I want to start to show you this too. So with the memory mate, let's say you've got a JV team and you've got a varsity team. So that's what you're seeing right here. So we've got, looks like JV is going to be in the black jerseys, and I think you can see that enough, and the varsity is going to be in the white. So down, now I want you to watch really close at the file name. So the third one is basically our graphic that we're going to load into as a placeholder. And we've got the dynamic brackets in there. So in programming, that's going to be, dynamic data. So team name is going to come from what you put on your CSV sheet, right? So that would be this column, right? That's the data you're already giving the project. And so then the system knows that if it has brackets and team name, it's pulling whatever's in your CSV column to fill in the background. So let's say you've got a league that's got red, blue, black, green teams, and you need to give the background a chance to change. You can do that. All you're going to do is you're going to load it in here. You're going to name it properly, and then make sure you've got the graphic that's going to pull in with that dynamic data. That is really, really cool. Okay, so I want to hit on one more. Was it the button one? Buttons are hard, but we're going to kind of show you with this graphic how cool that is. Okay, so takeaway point here is the organization. I've got all my graphics in a folder per product, and I'm ready to go. Okay, all right, let's do this. So let's go back into here. And so what you'll start to see, so right now it's still in beta mode, so not everybody has it, but what you'll see is you'll see a tab that says layout tool. Okay, and then here's some layouts that we already have built, and we'll bounce into those in just a second. First, I want to just show you quickly how to build, how easy it is to build. So let's say we'll call it web 8x10. Now, I want you to think about organization when you're naming your stuff too. So read the fine print. This is what the consumer is going to see. So you probably name it something a lot more, consumer that would sound much better. But for today, we're going to go with that. You can put a description in there if you need to. This sorting is going to be a big deal. So, what city is it? What's the product? What's the size? So think that out before you start to, build a bunch of layouts from a bunch of different schools. Now, this right here. So if you have been using other programs, And you, this is cool too. And you need to know what size is a button or what size is a magnet or hey, an 8 by 10, something as simple as an 8 by 10. This is what, as soon as you say what product you want to attach this layout to, the system's going to figure all your canvas size out for you. You can set limitations to each individual layout as well. Okay, so let's just add it and let's keep rolling here. So right now, here is my web 8 by 10, okay? So properties is where I just was if I need to ever go back in and change there. So next I want to go to my graphics. So now where I just showed you my organization, I'm going to go back to that, see if I can get there quickly. And I want Winhawks and I want my 8 by 10 single. So I'm going to grab all three of these and I'm going to upload them, okay? So now they're in that shell of the layout. So I'm going to go back to layouts and now I'm going to go into edit mode. Okay. So here is my creator. Now I'm going to get it a little bit smaller here. So you see right here where it automatically defined my canvas. Love that, especially on those harder products when you're not sure what size they are. If you needed to, you can choose color your background. That's already for you. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to have the option to add a graphic or we're going to add text. Okay. So we're going to add the background first. So I'm going to do my drop down. Okay. And here is, I've got some things up here. I've got a lock option, which I don't want to do yet, but I like that tool too. I've got a move option, so I can freelance it if I want to, trash, and then I think that one's the duplicate. So for this one, I know it's a 0 by 0 and it's an 8 by 10. Okay. So that's going to fill in there. Some cool things about like clicking on these dots, double click, that's going to fill up the whole canvas as well. If you're a numbers person, you see up at the top there, I've got XY coordinates that you can see where the XY coordinates are and plug that in as well. Okay, we're going to jump to this image source. So right now I'm pulling in a subject meaning my students or my athletes. Okay, so I want this to be graphic because it's my background. So here I'm going to go to my background art and there it is. So I told it I want it to fill the canvas and I put it in there. And that's really all that a layer needs, okay? So here's where I like to lock it because I'm really good at clicking stuff and it moving on me. So the next thing I want to do is I have to bring in my node, my photo node, right? So I'm going to add again. I'm going to go down. And so let's say this one, oh heck, let's go 6 by, oops, tab. Okay, now if you're creative and you just want to click and drag, we're going to move that move tool and we're going to just click and drag and put it where we want. And then I think I want this one. I'm not going to use the fog because we're starting to run long here. I'm just going to pull that PNG all the way down to the bottom. Okay, so I'm not quite sure where my head hits yet because I can't remember if I've got full length or mid length or what I got here. So what we could do is we could go back to the graphic and then we're going to pull in that example and then we're going to kind of get a better view of what we're seeing. So don't leave it on this because this is what would print, right? So this is just for your visual and whatnot. So as soon as we like, hey, that visual looks good, then we got to make sure we change that back to subject. Okay, so keep that in mind. This stuff I'm going to show you in the next step. So let's go ahead and lock that layer. And now I want to pull in some text. Remember, it's got to be text that you gave the system. So with this one, I'm going to go straight to the move and I'm going to pull down. I got to hit the move button. There we go. I want to pull it down and we're just going to say here. So here's my text node. I'm going to give it approximate size that I want. And so I don't want static data. I want dynamic data. So I'm going to go to here and I'm going to say first name, and then I want to pull in the last name. So phonetically correct, I'm going to give it a space, and then I'm going to go last name. Okay. I'm going to go to the dropper because I want that orange to pull. Cool. How cool is that? Auto size defaults to on, so that's a big deal. So if you have a really long name, it's not going to fall off the space that you want to put it in. Bold's cool. Let's make it bold. Italic. We can center it if you want, but I liked it better where it was, so I'm going to leave that off. This is pretty cool. So if you put in on your CSV, it was all, upper and lower cases, but on here you want all upper cases. You can click that uppercase button there. You've got some shadows you can put on there. You mess with that with the color as well, and then you can also do a stroke. See the white. So pretty cool. Okay. Now there's a save button. I should be hitting save as often as I can. Every time you hit save, it saves it in that specific spot of your creation. So if you had to, you're like, oh, I messed it up too much, further down the line, you could go back to this spot and get and start with that spot again, if that makes sense. Let's see. So for the sake of this, I would have it saved. And then, so remember, web 8x10. So before we go any further, I want to show you how easy it is to activate it in your project. So we're going to go back to pricing. Let's go into this guy. And then you'll start to see these layout tabs, okay? So right here is my web 8x10. All I got to do is put a price, and that layout is now activated. Really cool. So you see, like, you don't have all the products that we have built. So make sure you just look under products and layout. So there's layout tabs within the main tabs, if that makes sense. Okay, so with that being said, I want to go back to the layout tool and just show you a few more things. With the big one is the button and the memory mate. So let's go into the memory mate that we've already created. And so here I want to show you. So again, we're pulling in this one is our main one, and then we have the other ones in there so that it can pull in that graphic. Okay. So back to layouts. Let's go into the button up at the top, I believe. Okay, so we've already created it, but here is a very cool feature that the guys did. So your button is going to have an overlay of what is going to show. So normally we'd suggest you don't want Winhawks to show just a little bit, but just to give you that example, let me see if I can find that one. I think it's this one right here. And I want to move, which it was already highlighted because it was blue. Let's say I want to bump that back up a little bit and get it out of there, so you can fidget with that, okay? So you've got that flexibility and visual to see. And then, of course, you've got your person in there. You could add text to the button as well. You could see where it's going to fall. It's going to make life a lot easier. Okay, let's see. That is a lot of information coming at you fast. So I think the takeaway points for the layout tool is sky's the limit. Take what we've shown you today and think outside the box of what this is going to be capable of for you. We still have it in beta mode. We're close to getting it live for everybody. If you're really excited to go and you want to give it some try in beta mode, reach out to us and we can get you set up that way as well. So I think that's where I want to leave it for today. And then I think we are back to maybe over to Steve and just kind of wrap things up here.
Hey, one other comment on that. The model image that you brought in, that example image of the baseball player to see where he was going to land. A really important factor with this is cropping. Cropping your 5'4" shortstop the same as you crop the 6'4" first baseman, so their heads land in the same place in the button and all the products.
Good call. Yep.
So
good call.
very important part of making this work well. I know there was a question on here about when this would be available. It's still in beta mode, as Jess mentioned. I'm not sure when this is going to be rolled out, but like she said, we might be taking on more beta testers with that. So just maybe reach out to us about that and we'll see what we can do. So, but we're definitely excited about this. I know there was a question about service items. Yes, you can download admin and yearbook files out of OrderPix directly. Maybe let's go back to that project, Jess. Just quickly show that. So the batch PNG product. Yeah. So under subject actions, there's your download PSPA yearbook files and school admin files. And then if you're ordering any service item files, right now you download it out of here and upload those images to CSV to the lab. But the cool thing about the admin file is when you download that with a green screen project and you're working with PNGs, the studio gets an option to blue background, gray background. Those are our two standard options on that. So you download them right out of the software and you have them in your hands and you're ready to get them to the school right there. So very quick and efficient. And there's one charge per project for the downloads, unlimited number of downloads if you need to download things more than once, which might be the case.
Yep.
So ID cards are coming soon where you can render those out. The layout tool helps you design those right in here. So you'll be able to render them out, upload them to the lab for printing. Very efficient with that. So that's coming. And some other features are coming. I think we kind of want to close this with just talking about just some other features that are in here. And I'll just mention them that and not go into them too deep, just kind of whet your appetite a little bit. But there's a payment credit feature in OrderPix, often used with dance schools when all the kids have like 6 outfits, but the photographer knows he's not going to sell outfits or sell images for all 6 outfits for all 300 kids. So you can charge a session fee and a prepay. Mom pays that session fee by the number of outfits that she wants to buy from. And then $15 per. She buys 3 outfits. That's $45 she spent on session fees. Then you can apply that credit back to her when she logs into the batch and sees her images. She's working against a $45 credit in that case. So she's going to get that money back. We have studios doing that a lot with the dance schools. Pretty cool little feature. Shoppers can crop, so you can turn on or turn off the cropping. I may have mentioned that earlier, but that's a really cool feature and maybe a change from the past. Yeah, it's easier if you're doing prepays and you're still doing paper order forms versus online. You can do a mix. It's super easy to add your paper order forms in with your online order forms for the prepay. Essentially, you're doing that in batch mode. So some cool things about that. Gosh, I mean, we probably ought to stop. We could go on and on and on about the features, but there's a lot
Yes.
under the hood with OrderPix. And I would say that our software stands toe to toe with anybody in the industry and with functionality and support. And question, Mark Lane, Steve, are the ID cards two-sided? Could be. So if you're doing ID cards, we haven't set this up yet. There's probably going to be a front and a back, kind of like the trader cards. I would guess that's how we'll set that up. So I know in some states there is a suicide message that's required by the state. So that could be set up on one side, then the other side will have the regular image data and all that type of thing. So it's going to totally be customizable for each studio. Gosh, Jess.
Yep, one last question there about those designs. The designs you did see in there would be brought in by the studio. So at this time, we don't have any preloaded ones. Topic of conversation that I hope continues to grow and evolve there.
Right.
So
And I might mention also, if there are Flow users who are looking to switch over and just go directly to OrderPix, we've made it easy for them to import their Flow layouts and graphics and all that. So we have hit on that pretty well. Terry, yes, the ID cards will be laminated. So they're going to be the regular ID cards options that you have now. So when you upload your rendered ID cards, when you place the order, you'll get asked the question, do you want these laminated or do you want the PVC ID cards? So yep, you'll still have that choice and you can order them accordingly. So
good deal. Good deal.
all right.
Well, I can't say enough. Thank you guys for jumping on today. We definitely are excited. Hopefully that shine through and can't wait to get this in your hands. And thank you for hanging out with us. Appreciate it.
Thanks everybody. Thanks,
All
Jess.
right.
Great
Yeah.
job.
Thanks, Steve. Nice work. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.